reveal the secrets to you during our live broadcasting. The color of red represents the auspicious moment and happiness, so we can see the reddish color here. But actually, in this village, they prefer the color of black during festivals. So why? What's the reason behind this? We will tell you later. And here is also a very special event that's called the Temple Fest. So what does this mean and why it is recorded in China's history? During today's live broadcasting, we will reveal the secrets one by one to our viewers. We all know that some people enjoy the vibes, some people dig out the secrets behind the vibes. And in order to show you more knowledge, we've got Mr. Bai, who is an expert to the underground village. And today, Mr. Bai will accompany us and show us around this underground village. So, Mr. Bai, why is the architecture of the underground village is so special? This is the underground village, and this residential architecture has three characteristics due to, firstly, the geographic location. It is hard to build the houses on the mud. That's why we dig these underground dwellings. This is because of the geographic location. So we make some special shapes and to dig the underground dwellings. Because it is harder to build the houses on the mud land, we dig these underground houses. And secondly, the temperature, the climate here is still dry. And this way can help protect the land. And we can see these materials are mud. If it is raining or it is too moisturized, it will be difficult to make them solid. And thirdly, it costs very little to build these underground dwellings because the main architecture materials are the yellow mud. This is quite representative. It's just like the Tulou in Fujian province. But we have a longer history than the Tulou in Fujian province. This can date back to very long years ago. And it's the inheritage of the history. So this is called the life fossil of residential architecture. Meanwhile, because of the special design of the architecture and because it's underground, it has three advantages. Firstly, it is cool in summer, it is warm in winter, and the average temperature is about 11 to 12 Celsius degree. We don't need air condition in winter. And it also saves the architecture materials. So this is the sort of our local people. And it's also a very good integration of our wisdom and the nature. You mean why the underground village is formed here? There are three reasons. Firstly, because of the geographic location. And secondly, because of the monsoon season here, we need to protect the nature. And thirdly, The underground village use the local materials and saves money because the economy here lagged behind, but the people here still want to improve their livelihood, so they give full play to their wisdom and integrate the advantages of the nature. That's why this underground village has taken shape. Yes, this really enriched the culture of the Losses and the Yellow River. Mr. Bai, we can see these walls. They are made of Losses. So what's inside? How about the structure? All the materials of the underground dwellings are Losses. We take the advantage of the characteristics of the Losses. So we need to protect the Losses as it has a very strong water-absorbing quality. And this is like some modern techniques. All these are Losses. But how did you consolidate the Losses? During the digging, the water comes out, and naturally, the solid structure formed. How about the root, the basic structure? That's the brick. Brick is waterproof, but these Losses bricks are not waterproof. We need to avoid the water absorbing. Look up. This is called huqi locally. I can't write it to you, but the pronunciation is huqi. And it's the mud brick. You put the mud into these frameworks, and then we use the hammer to beat on it and make it to the mud brick. Yes, we need to beat and pat these Losses so that make it to the mud brick. And in this mode, the mud brick will take shape. And these mud bricks are just like the common bricks. And then we will make a cover which is similar to the waterproof materials so that to protect the Losses. As this is the residential architecture, we need to consider more elements. Firstly, we need to select the location. Actually, there are 4 steps, 4 quotes. First, we dig the underground structure, and finally, we make it a beautiful way. The second one is to wear a hat on this, to wear the boots and the hats on the walls. That means waterproof cover. Because the water will make these Losses erode. So we wear these waterproof materials on these walls. Above the wall is the hat, below the wall are the boots, so that to prevent the rains from the walls from entering into the walls. And finally, we can see with the comprehensive design, this looks beautiful. We also know that another nickname for these underground dwellings is the underground Beijing courtyard. Yes, for the directions, it is the same as the ones in Beijing. It is divided into the 4 directions, like the south, the east, the north, and the west. It is quite interesting that there is a village, but you can't see houses. And you can hear the people's voice, but you can see no one. Because the village is hidden underground, so you can see it. You cannot see the houses because the houses are in the caves. And you can hear the voices of the people and livestock, but you cannot see them because they are also hidden underground. There are about 200 villages here, and they have about 12,000 underground houses. And it totals an area of 34 square kilometers. It's about 100,000 Shanzhou people living underground. Experts say this is the only village who live underground. So it's quite magic and mysterious. And we can see you really have a bunch of knowledge on underground village. We really appreciate your introduction. We have been included in the National Intangible Cultural Heritage list. We are proud. This underground village has a significance of historical value and archaeology's value, and it's also aesthetics. As well know, the common buildings are above the ground, but this one is under the ground. People call it life fossil, also call it a folk culture village, but experts call it folk culture Wikipedia. Just now, Mr. Bai told us the reasons behind the underground villages. And now we will find some characteristics and memories of the underground dwellings. There are 111 intangible cultural heritage around this area, and this underground village includes more than 80 of those. For example, the face printing and the printing with the leaves. Let's keep it a secret. Just now, Mr. Bai also mentioned paper cutting. People can do the paper cutting, but the paper cutting here is unique. So why it is so special? Let's go this way. The aunts have prepared the paper. Hello, Granny. People say the paper cutting here is quite special. Why? We have some highlights. Firstly, we prefer the color of black. We prefer black paper. And we sing while cutting the paper. The ladies and the girls, in the daily life, they are working on the farm, but you see they can also cut the papers in a precise way, and these papers look very sophisticated and beautiful. Just now, I listened to your songs. I remember the lyrics, "We are the dream pursuers." This year marks the year of pig. We will cut the shape of pig and bring you the happiness. And we also cut different shapes of flowers. And we are the dreamers. I think our viewers also have an idea on this paper cutting. Firstly, they sing while cutting the paper. So every year you sing different songs, right? Yes. Like last year, we sang the Song of Dog. And this year marks the year of pig, so we sing the songs of pig. The lyrics are different year by year. We sing songs around the whole year, like we change the lyrics from January to October. And the lyrics are in accordance with the shape of the paper. That's the first characteristic. Since 2004, the country develops the intangible cultural heritage around the country. We have been developing this culture, and we pass on this culture. Before the year of 2004, although the paper carding is a tradition here, but we do not teach the guys or the male persons the paper carding. But after 2004, because the whole nation is protecting intangible culture, we need to teach everyone paper carding here. So that's the second characteristic, which is that the male people here can also cut the papers. And you can see the color is so different. Usually people use the red paper to conduct paper cutting, but why you choose the color of black? Let Mr. Bai briefly explain to us. As we all know, Spring Festival is quite happy. We prefer the color of red so that to bring more happiness. But why locally people prefer the color of black? If you have precisely look at the windows, you can see the papers on the windows are black. And decades ago, people also prefer black clothes, stocks, or hats. And the interior design or decorations are also black. So this is the representative element here, because in the zodiac culture in China, black represents water. And this region is really depending on the nature. There is a lack of water. We hope we can have sufficient water so that to bring harvest to the people. So the color of black actually shows our pursuit to a better livelihood, our pursuit to happiness. This is people's dream. Okay. So why people prefer black here is because that black represents water. And there is a lack of water in this region. So water is quite critical, significant to people here. People really are eager to water. This is the custom, this is the tradition here. And this is one of the intangible cultural heritages here, singing while cutting the paper. And this is another intangible cultural heritage, which is painting with leaves. Hello, Happy New Year. How did you make this? They are made by the fresh flowers and grass. We use roses because there are no other flowers in the winter. Can you demonstrate it to us? Yes, these are the materials. Why we call this painting memory? Because in ancient times, there was no techniques of painting or printing. People only had a white cloth, but later on they want to make the white cloth more beautiful, so people found materials in the nature and print them on the white cloth. And now we can see these green leaves. This is quite common locally. We can find these in winter. It is colorful. So in ancient time, our ancestors used the flowers and grass to print the cloth so that to make the cloth colorful. In summer, we have more abundant materials. We have different kinds of flowers and grass, but in winter, these materials are limited. But no matter what season it is, we still pursue a better livelihood. How long will it take? Not long. We often do this together with our friends, and we will beat the cloth while singing. I have a basic idea. That is, you can choose your favorite colors, and you put the flowers or the leaves on the white cloth, and then you beat them so that the colors will be printed on the cloth. And these are all your masterpieces. Yes, this one is a peony. Peony represents the wealth. In this Shanzhou area, we would love to sing while beating the cloth. We feel really happy. And I made these bags. Pigs are printed on the bags, and it's sold out quickly. And because this year marks the year of pig, people really love this bag. The painting with leaves here has a history of more than 1,000 years, and all the materials are natural. There is no pollution. I can really sense the different kinds of culture, and I think this is the real folk culture. And what's next? Thank you very much. And next, we will appreciate the gongs and drums singing. I'm looking forward to that. As we locate at the juncture of 3 provinces, so we sing different styles. Oh, you can see people are so happy here. They look so happy. They sang the very valuable songs in Shanzhou. This is quite rare to listen to because it integrates the core essence of different types of opera. I cannot understand some of the lyrics. However, I heard food in the lyrics. On the way to the mountains, there are bowls of food. As I'm also a fan of food, I was sensible enough to hear the lyrics of food just now. Apart from the underground dwellings, there is also characteristic snack here, which has been broadcasted in the TV series A Bite of China. That is called a Temple Feast. And we are now walking upstairs, and we will reach the horizon line. So later on, we will have a look on the roof of the underground dwellings. After climbing up, we will see the underground dwellings in an overlook way. And we can see the sky wells. Below the sky wells are the residential buildings, and these are the underground courtyards, which are also called live fossil. Mr. Bai, today we enjoyed the temple fair around the courtyard. We can really sense the Spring Festival vibes. The weather is nice because it's snowy today. And people are wearing the colorful costumes. And these two ghosts are wrestling. I got it. There is only one person below this costume. And this is also the intangible cultural heritage. The staff is moving around on the top of the umbrella. And people are also dancing. Just now, I also heard that most of the actors and actresses here are the villagers. So we can see in the busy seasons, they will do the farm work. But during the festivals, they will dance and sing. They are the villagers in the neighboring villages. We can also see these architectures, and people talk and sing at the same time. This also shows their feeling and their attitude towards life. I can really sense that people are diligent and pure-hearted here, and they are happy. Only by working by ourselves, we will make our lives better. This snow really adds a more beautiful atmosphere to the underground dwellings. Can you remind us of our next stop? we are going to enjoy the performance of Shanzhou. I feel very happy and special because we walk on the snow and we are doing the live broadcasting. And this is the team of the bridegroom. They are preparing for starting. Let me follow you, and we will enjoy the folk custom of a wedding in Shanzhou. There is the band and dancing team. We are in a proper place because we can see them clearly. The bridegroom is about to setting off. People are following him. And we can see that the band is playing the gongs and drums, and the bridegroom is going to receive his bride. And we will follow this group and enjoy the wedding. They are ready to set off. And this is the moderator, which is called Daban locally. The bridegroom will ride on the high horse and receive his bride. Usually, we can see very special objects like the umbrella, lantern, drums, and some cards. So what does these materials mean? There will be the gong. The person with the gongs will lead the group because the ghosts are afraid of the voice of the gongs. And secondly is the lantern. Lantern is to light up the way. And the umbrella can protect people, and it will also prevent them from the rains. And finally is the cars with happiness. We can see on the cards are two characters of happiness. In the past, when the bridegroom went to the house of the bride, they will send a bird that is called wild goose, because for the wild goose, they only have one spouse in the whole life. This is the most traditional wedding costume here. no matter the lantern or umbrella or the gongs. Just like you said, lantern represents the prospective future of the bride and bridegroom, and the gongs are to prevent them from the ghosts. The umbrella is to prevent them from the rains and the strong winds. And the two cards with the happiness is also to show the best wishes to the spouse. And these all show people's wish and dream for a better life. And we are approaching the house of the bride. We are arrived. As we follow the team of the bridegroom, we are arrived at the house of the bride. We heard that there is a local custom which is also quite special. That is, before the bride enters the house of the bridegroom, her foot cannot touch the ground. So there is a special process for this. That's called 倒毡. People will move the cloth in an orderly way, and the bride will step on these cloths so that to prevent her foot from touching the ground. The bride cannot bring anything from her home, so she cannot touch the ground with the foot. The ceremony is about to start. First, you bow to the heaven and earth. Everything will be fine. Secondly, you bow to the earth and you will receive harvest. You will have a nice food for the whole day. And the third, you bow to the chef, to the kitchen. Everyone, please be ready. There will be the 10-bao feast, which will welcome all the guests. We have different kinds of dishes to welcome the guests. It started. Music. And we can see the bridegroom has finally received his bride. Just now we saw one key process, that is to pray for the god of the kitchen. This is also a local custom. The guests are gathering here, so there will be feasts. That's why the first thing is to pray for the chef for the kitchen. That's because during the gathering or the wedding, we will invite the guests. So we really thank the god of the kitchen, and we also need to inform the god of the kitchen that today our home will have guests, and we need your help to cook food for them. This is also a very unique snack locally. And this stove is also very special. There is only one source of fire. And for the other holes, they are vacuumed. So one stove by stove, the temperature becomes lower and lower. It's just like bigger mountains, smaller mountains. That's why this is called a cross mountains stove. It is also because of this, the different stoves have different functions. Like the first one is to boil the food, and the second one or third one is to stir or to cook the food. This also shows the wisdom of local people. And this stove has 9 pots. The smallest stove has 7 pots on it. And they have different names. And this one is a completed one because it has 9 pots. For the 7 stoves, or the 8 stoves, or the 9 stoves, they are different because they can cook different dishes. So you mean with more stoves, you can cook more food, though you choose the 9-stove one. And we can have a look on the dishes. They are also very special. Can you open it? We can see the meat. It's steaming hot. And this is the pork. And you can see the color. Color is reddish. It's like the color on the face painting. And this represents loyalty and justice. And this one is tofu. Tofu is white. This represents wealth. And these are the mixed meat. So it has the perfect meaning. And that one is also a white tofu. It also shows the spirit of the family that you need to be clear in mind every time. And this is the mushroom. This will be put on the table of the elderly because it means treasure, and the elderly persons are the treasure of the family. And these are the 10-bowl feast. There are 10 dishes. Different colors represent different meanings, including the spirit of the family or their personality. It also shows the wealth. Like the mushroom represents that we need to respect the elderly because they are the treasures in the family. This is really the inheritance of the spirit of the family. It teaches you how you should behave, and you should also respect the elderly persons. And today, as we visited the underground courtyards, we can see that no matter from any what aspects, with the wisdom of the local people, they have created this underground village. And just now, we also visited and appreciated different kinds of intangible cultural heritage, like the gongs and drums, face painting, painting with leaves. They combine the historic elements and modern elements. And finally, we arrive here to enjoy the 10-bowl feast. And this cross-mountain stove is also the wisdom of the local people. There are 9 stove holes of these cross-mountain holes, and each hole has different function for stirring food or to boil the food. And we can see these are all the wisdom from local people. People really pursue a high quality of life by working hard by their own hands so that they can draw a beautiful blueprint for their future. Today, we visited the live fossil of a residential building, but more than that, we appreciate the spirit of local people. Actually, apart from today's tour, there are more special and interesting activities in this area. And we can see, although it is slowing heavily, but visitors are still enthusiastic and they are playing here. They are happy. So I really enjoyed today's live broadcasting. We do not only enjoy the visual feast, we also learned from the spirit behind this visual feast. All good life are made by hands, made by hard and diligent work. We can change our life with our diligence. I think this is the greatest lesson we've learned today. We do not experience the architecture, we also experience the spirit, the folk culture here. Thank you, Mr. Bai, for joining today's live stream. We really welcome you come again. We are here not only to digging out the Spring Festival vibes, but also to experience this. Just now, Mr. Bai also welcomed our viewers to come here in person, and Mr. Bai will show you around. Okay, dear viewers, thank you for watching. See you.